For those following Persona 5 Scramble like myself, it's been an interesting ride so far. With the little bits revealed about the game, we've slowly but surely learned more and more about what this game is, from it starting as the mysterious P5S title with a one more on its Japanese website that had people speculating it was the original Persona 5 on Switch, its first short reveal that showed it was something different as a crossover with Omega Force, and then the latest promo video that showed the action JRPG title in all of its glory as something worth being excited about that got me along for the ride. The more that gets revealed about this sequel to Persona 5's original story, the more I'm excited about it, so with its latest 2-hour livestream in Japan and more new info trickling out, I've been soaking in every bit to learn more about this different kind of Persona game. So after diving down the Persona 5 Scramble rabbit hole for a week, here's a roundup of what we know so far and what we can look forward to learning more about as we await this interesting new action-based Persona experience. P5S, or full title Persona 5 Scramble The Phantom Strikers, is set 6 months after the end of the original Persona 5. The story is set to begin when protagonist Ren goes back to Tokyo to visit his friends for summer vacation with plans to catch up and have fun, but as seems to happen with the Phantom Thieves, they somehow find themselves in an unknown world, a world where shadows take away human desires and are ruled by someone who calls themselves king. This changes the Phantom Thieves' plans a little, since Tokyo isn't the only place affected, with strange conversion events popping up all around Japan, giving a second purpose to their summer vacation plans. So they set off in a camping car around Japan to get to the bottom of these incidents and have a little fun too in this new Persona journey. Since this game is essentially set a year and 6 months out from the start of Persona 5, there are a few notable changes in the game from the Lost, aside from the genre, which we'll talk about soon. Ren and presumably An, Ryuji, and Yusuke are in their 3rd year of high school in this game, and Makoto and Haru are in college, meaning we'll get to see how the characters have grown and changed since the Lost one, as confirmed in the recent livestream. The livestream also confirmed a bit about the tone of the game, which, while the thieves will be taking care of incidents around Japan, is also supposed to be a little bit lighter. Producer Daisuke Kaneda was featured on the stream, and according to Gematsu, there's a notion of wanting to reward the Phantom Thieves for their hard work that they did in the first game, and I think the tone can be seen in trailers too, with things like Futaba referencing Titanic on a boat, and seeing the characters exploring fun things in the cities gives a more relaxed feeling, especially with the summer vibe. And while the title's action gameplay has been a big talking point, the livestream emphasized that there's been a lot of work put into making this a good story as well. And with things like new characters and locations, and possibly old ones to revisit as well, which isn't confirmed, this story does have potential to be a big one, and as a Persona game that goes further than its base city this time, I'm excited to see where it goes. The main cast of Persona 5 are back in Persona 5 Scramble, but this world features a few new friendly and not so friendly faces that play different roles in this new story. The arguably most important face of these is the new playable character Sophia, as she's been in trailers for Scramble since the first one and got her own character trailer recently. Sophia is a character Joker and crew meet and has lost her memory, but she remembers one thing, that she wants to be friends with good people. In the alternative world, she fights with the Phantom Thieves with a codename of Sophie and a robot-like face, and can also use a persona-like object called Pithos to help the Phantom Thieves with their tasks. In the alternative world, she's able to run around with the others, but in the real world, she lives in the character's smartphone since she's actually an AI. What this means for the alternative world or otherwise hasn't been revealed yet, but she's been described as a character that is similar to Jose from Persona 5 Royal, which probably doesn't mean a lot to us since that's not out in the West yet either. However, her and Jose have a certain innocence in their character designs that do make them both very intriguing, and that, along with her premise, make her an interesting character that I look forward to learning more about. Sophia is the main new character getting spotlight since she works so closely with the Phantom Thieves in the game. However, 2 other new characters of interest include Zenkichi Hagisawa, a public safety officer who has his eyes on the Phantom Thieves and has seen a bit of screen time in trailers, and a lesser-seen character called Alice Hiragi, who is a popular idol talent who hosts an event in Shibuya that may have something to do with with the first alternative world, as her name can be seen mentioned in that area's dialogue. Both of these characters seem like they'll have their moments in the story, so I'm sure we'll learn more about them. But I love the design of Alice, and I'm curious if Hagisawa will be a proper antagonist or not at this point. Alice is a character found in Shibuya, which was a major location for Persona 5. However, what makes Persona 5 Scramble different to 5 and other Persona games is that it's based in multiple places from Japan. Scramble's second trailer showed us 5 of those locations, which include the pop culture district of Shibuya that we already know, the snowy city of Sapporo, the historical one of Sendai, the quirky district of Osaka, and the popular summer destination Okinawa. The part that gets me excited about these places is that they look just as explorable as Persona 5 Shibuya. While no maps are shown for any place other than Shibuya, assuming they'll also have shops and places you can visit since Ren can be seen running through them, I'm excited to discover some of these places through Scramble, as they're some of Japan's most popular real-life locations. The places featured look great so far, and very different from one another too, and there is a possibility we might see others. Producer Kaneda was cagey about answering certain questions on the livestream, but from what I understood, it was at least implied that there could be others, and just looking at the timeline of when the Phantom Thieves are in each place, if the Phantom Thieves intend to spend most of July and August doing these trips together, it seems there are gaps in the timeline that definitely could have other places fit in, whether they're places brought back from Persona 5 or new ones from other cities in Japan too. Even without that, there is something that almost definitely doubles the amount of places found in Scramble though, and those are the alternative versions of its cities, such as the one we've seen for Shibuya since the first trailer. Judging from just the Shibuya area, these areas seem to keep base elements from their respective place, but are warped and decorated in different ways, with the alternative Shibuya looking very colorful that almost makes it seem like an extreme version of its image as a fashionable city, and the briefly shown area of Sapporo from its TV commercial looks like an extreme version of the famously cold city. In the livestream, they wouldn't reveal if these places are palaces or not, but they do seem palace-like in nature, considering the first one looking very colorful like a certain new character from Shibuya, and the very last part of gameplay they showed having something shiny and the word for snatch at the end, which is the word they use to say stealing treasure sometimes in the Japanese version of 5. So these things do make me wonder if this is a palace for one of the new characters, but that is 100% speculation at this point. Assuming the other cities in Japan will have alternative areas like this too, as seen in some of the trailers, there could be a lot of places to see both new and old, and people to meet through each one. Although when it comes to old characters and places from 5, Kaneda also wouldn't speak on that either just yet. In any case, there should be a lot to explore both in the real world and its alternative one too, and I'm very excited to see how they all come together in the full game. Gameplay-wise, Persona 5 Scramble is something different for the Persona series. Atlus's Persona games are typically of the turn-based RPG variety, however Scramble is a collaboration between Koei Tecmo and Atlus this time, with it being developed by Atlus's P Studio in charge of the Persona games and Koei Tecmo's Omega Force team known for their Dynasty Warrior games, taking this game from a turn-based RPG to a proper action RPG title. Around April, when there was heavy speculation and hope that the yet-to-be revealed at that time P5S was going to be Persona 5 Switch, the actual announcement of Persona 5 Scramble was quickly coined as the Persona 5 Musou or Dynasty Warriors game that created disappointment among many fans, honestly myself included at first. However, the livestream I think was very aware of those fan fears and set out to show what the game really is, and while there definitely is a Warrior Games feeling in there thanks to it being developed by Omega Force, it looks like the teams have done their best to blend both Persona's more strategic elements of exploiting weaknesses and using personas with Warriors' fluid action to create a system all of their own. During the gameplay portions of the recent livestream, which I'll link below, we got to see about 20 minutes of footage of the game played on easy. At the start we could see Joker smoothly hacking and slashing at enemies, but the director from Koei Tecmo, Nobumichi Kumabe, was quick to show that when you use a skill, the fast-paced action stops and gives you a moment to choose the right skill like you would in other Persona games, and the action resumes once you've chosen and the skill is being cast, past, making it much more accessible for Persona fans than just a straight action experience. Throughout the 20 minutes of footage, there was a lot more shown too, including a few things such as phantom moves, which look inspired by the sneak skills from Persona 5, where you can somehow quickly dart in the air and around things like poles to get yourself across the field quickly or take a strategic break from fighting. They showed that SP and HP will also be present, with magic costing SP like in P5, along with physical attacks using HP and able to do technicals. There are also things like the baton touch that shows when you switch characters using the D-pad, with the cool fact that you can control everyone except for Futaba as she's still doing her Navi duties. With that, everyone, including the Phantom Thieves plus Sophia, and all characters are supposed to have their own style and movement, such as Joker being able to switch personas as he would in Persona 5 and him being a quick fighter, while someone like Sophia who uses giant yo-yos is able to cover a wider range, so it seems like all the characters will feel a little different to play. Other familiar aspects include chances if you dart onto an enemy before they see you, which also makes it look like it won't also be hordes of enemies on screen. You will actually have to initiate battle yourself outside of special battles and bosses, but there's no noticeable screen change when the battle starts and finishes, which makes it feel very fluid. And the inclusion of things like all-out attacks and the new Showtime moves that are also in Royal makes it seem like they'll add even more familiarity for the Persona player, but it seems like it all fits seamlessly together with the quick action gameplay too, which is great. As a final important point, they also stressed in the stream that it's difficult to just button mash square to victory, and they've tried to make it necessary to use all parts of battle to win, so if that's true, I think this looks like an exciting and unique system that seems to combine genres well, and with how smooth it looks at 60 frames per second in some of the trailers and how stylish and satisfying it looks to play with, it's a system that I'm really looking forward to trying. Gameplay, story, and the places you can explore are big parts of Persona 5 Scramble, but there are a few more things that we know too. First is that the music will be done by composer Atsushi Kitajo, who composed for Persona Q and Q2, and music shown in trailers and the livestream sounds amazing so far, with a mix of new tracks and heavier versions of tracks like Lost Surprise that fit the action tone of the game. If you're a fan of the original arrangements though, so far for Japan, a Persona 5 sound set has been announced that is free if you have data on your PS4 from Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal, and for Switch players if you have data for Smash Bros. Ultimate, even if you don't have the Joker DLC, which is pretty cool. I'm more curious about the new music, but it's definitely a nice gesture to fans of the series and its related games. Aside from music, there have been a few interesting tidbits that have been talked about in interviews in the stream too, such as that apparently the idea for this game was proposed by Koei Tecmo to Atlus, and that Koei Tecmo did the first draft of the story, which has now been revised apparently many times by both teams to make it what it is now. Also at the time of the stream, the game is said to be 90% developed and they're in the refining phase, so it looks like the team will likely hit their February 20th, 2020 release date, which is always good to see. There are also a lot of questions that the team wouldn't answer in the stream, such as if there was a Velvet Room, which actually turned out to be a yes according to a recent Famitsu magazine that showed Persona Fusion will be in the game, and that you'll be able to buy equipment from there as well, along with a new band system that can be used to power up characters, which may be like XP, but I'm not sure yet. Persona Negotiation has also apparently been worked seamlessly into Scramble's action battles, which is a little hard to imagine at this point, so I hope we see more of that soon. And as for other Persona 5 elements such as confidants or just if other characters would appear, the team wouldn't answer, so we still have more to learn as well. The final thing that Atlus both in Japan and the West have kept quiet about is if this game will actually be localized. I think our chances are good considering a few things. During the recent livestream, Atlus promoted and apparently sanctioned a mirror livestream by a bilingual VTuber called Kiminomiya, who was reacting to and translating the stream aimed towards an English audience, and this is the first time that Atlus has done something like this, which would be very strange to do if they weren't at least considering localizing the game at some point. Additionally, Gematsu found in a Nintendo's earning report in English a game listed called Persona 5 Strikers. And while the owners were talking about the Japanese release, the fact that they used a different title in the English report could potentially suggest that that may become its English title, but nothing has been confirmed yet. With the amount of interest from the West and the fact that a vast majority of Persona projects get localized eventually these days, I think it's more likely a case of when this will happen rather than if, personally. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, but regardless, this is a game that looks like it has a lot of potential, and it's one I'm sure a lot of Persona fans like myself will hopefully pick up in English, but even when it's out in February in Japanese, just to see what it's like. There's more information coming very soon with a Ryuji character video that's supposed to come out while I'll likely be finishing up, along with more episodes of the Traveling Morgana Sushin YouTube show where Morgana gives us updates like Persona did for Persona 5 Royal. Hopefully this video was helpful. I very much enjoyed learning more about this game for this video, and hopefully we hear more about this unique Persona action experience soon. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited for Persona 5 Scramble and what you hope to learn about it in the coming months. You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, because I enjoyed making it. Subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to sources will be in the description below, and until next time, thank you! Bye!